Hi guys. So I have decided to have blepharoplasty and my appointment's all booked. Now let me tell you all about it. So, there's a part of me that feels really sort of self-indulgent, wanting to improve the way my face is. But I don't think I'm going to give myself too much of a hard time, because every time I look in the mirror, I just think, God, what happened to my eyes? And it seemingly happened really, really quickly. And it was one eye which was really disturbing, but now the other one is sort of catching up. So not only am I, misaligned and non-symmetrical, but I also have these huge lids which are falling and they're actually hitting my eyelashes. So, I realise it is sort of overly vain, but there is actually a physical element. So I suffer terribly with irritated eyes, constantly actually. And, when you're staring at a computer a lot and what have you. But if I look at my eyes when I'm tired, the droop is actually resting on my eyelashes. So, this is partly a health matter, I would say, although 99.9% of it is a complete vanity thing. So I've just learnt to say that word, blepharoplasty. What I've been telling people is I'm having an eye lift. And what I'm getting done is the top lid's cut and then restitched, and they put the line of stitching on the natural crease of your eyelid so it doesn't show. But I wear loads of makeup. I'm not worried about a line. It was quite fun actually, because when I went into the surgeon, he was examining me and he said, "Where were your eyebrows?" And I said, "Well, I don't remember, because I just tattoo them on now." And they get higher every year. So we had a bit of a giggle about that. Lovely man. I wouldn't want to go under the knife with somebody I didn't like. I think that's really important. You're giving yourself to this person, and really they're in complete control. I mean, they could blind you, or if you were having your boobs done, maybe, for example, you could get some infection, or, there's all these sort of things to consider. But I'll tell you what I did do, which I think is really important. I didn't go via somewhere like the Mayo Clinic. Is it Mayo Clinic? I think that's what or it might be Mayo. One's a cancer place and the other one's quite a commercial organisation. And my daughter-in-law had gone there for various surgeries, and she said they were really good. So I kind of looked at those. Well, they phoned me. They're quite sales orientated. Well, they're completely sales orientated. So somebody phones you, and she's just a salesperson. So she knows a bit. She'll have a spiel in front of you. So it was going to cost £9,000 because I'm having the top and the bottom done. I'll tell you about the bottom in a minute. So she said 9,000, and I sort of put the phone down. I thought, that's really expensive. I wonder if I can get it cheaper. Because you know what I'm like with trying to find a bargain. So I know that you can get the eye bag and eyelid surgery. Let me look at. I've got it written in front of me. The blepharoplasty. That's a really hard word to say. I think when you ring up, just say, right, instead of saying I want a blepharo, whatever it is, surgery, I just need my eye bags done or my eyelids done. They'll know exactly what you mean. It's a much easier word to say. I will put the word in the title here. So I thought, well, why not try, a proper eye surgeon? Because I know that actual eye surgeons do those surgeries. So I'd looked around to see eye surgeries in my local area, and it came up with this, this clinic, and it had a whole section on the eye lifts and bag lifts. So I went to see them, and it was absolutely wonderful. A little bit of a drive, maybe half an hour in the car, not too bad. My surgery is going to be in Southampton, a private hospital in Southampton, UK, and it's just such a lovely organisation. The hospital's linked to the eye clinic that I went to. It was really clean. It was definitely well run. There were quite a few people coming and going, but they were seamlessly seen to. You're presented when you arrive with a tablet, and you fill in using the tablet and your finger, which is just what a great idea. That really avoids paper. I was really impressed with that for some reason. I suppose because I do everything on my tablet, it seemed like home from home. The staff were very, very nice. There was very little waiting. I don't think I waited at all. I mean, I was a bit early, so I think I was pretty much on time. And went through, met the doctor. He was lovely. We talked about what I wanted and what I expected. He said absolutely he could do both, which I just thought, yay. And my fee for everything, that's including aftercare appointments, is £6,650. So, and maybe a bit more actually, so it's 7,000 because I had to pay 250 for the initial consult. So, £2,000 cheaper than having to go to London to very much a sort of sales-orientated, company who are more interested in getting the money than doing a good job. That's my take on it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with other clinics, but that's my take on it. I really liked the personal care. I really liked my doctor. I really enjoyed the consultation. And everything's been really, really seamless and lovely. So, absolutely faultless so far. Now, to get back to what I'm having done. So I'm having my eyelift done and the eye bags done. The eyelids done. And one of them is going to be cut more than the other because they're slightly lopsided. So he's going to even them up for me. And he had this little instrument which showed me what they'll look like, which I've done because I've been putting eyelash glue on my lid and tucking it in when I have a photo shoot. It doesn't last very long, it lasts about an hour, but it does give you the same look. So we did that and it was just gorgeous. Absolutely, no eyelid problem. Opened my eyes right back up to where they were when I was, really young. I really like my eyes. They're dark brown, really dark brown. Sometimes they look black. They're intriguing. They're fabulous. They're great with my white hair. Loved all. It was just fantastic. So it looked really good. And what they do on the bottom, because I said, what are these white bits? I've got these white sort of pouches under my eye, not immediately under, but a bit lower down, and they're starting to protrude. And it's actually fat. So what they do is they pull the eye, the eye bag, they cut it right under the eyelashes, pull it down, and then they cut the fat out. It's actually fat. I mean, who'd have thunk it? Fat eye bags. But now I'm obsessed. I look at people on TV and I think, oh yeah, they've got fatty deposits. So these eye bags of mine it's nothing to do with water retention, which I theorised. I thought maybe it's just water retention, perhaps it's my diet or, perhaps my medication. But it's not. It's actually just a sort of build-up of fat. And as your skin becomes, older and thinner, the fat starts to protrude and show. Will it come back? Yes, probably, but not for many, many years. So these surgeries usually last 12 years. I thought, well, I'm going to be 75 in 12 years. I might not mind it then. I may not object so much. And maybe I won't be doing TV stuff. Do you see what I mean? Maybe my life will be changed completely. Maybe I won't be here. I mean, you factor these things in. It'd be annoying to get run over by a bus the day after my eye surgery, but then I wouldn't know anything about it. So, that's what I think. You make the most of your life here and now. You don't think about, after the fact. There's no point in it even considering after the fact. You make every day as wonderful as you possibly can, hopefully. So it is expensive. I'm maxing out credit cards, etc. But it's something I really, really want to do. And especially because I've just launched the Elderescence Academy and I'm going to be doing, lots of visual stuff, hopefully lots of interviews on our YouTube channel and lots of exciting things like that. And I just want to be camera ready, get up in the morning, not have to, prat about with gluing my eyelids up with eyelash glue and worrying about camera angles and things like that. I don't want to worry about that. So anyway, I'm going to tell you absolutely everything. So about the procedure as it goes on and what I think. I'll do a daily update on the Elderescence Academy YouTube channel. I'll do an update there as well. Basically I'm being put out because you can have it done on a local anaesthetic, but that's preferable if you're just getting the above ones done. If you're starting to go into the bottom, where there's a lot of digging around, it's best to go under. Fantastic, because I don't want to really feel all that broggling around. I'd like to be out for the count, thank you very much. But you can leave the same day. So my appointment isn't until late afternoon. I must be the surgeon's final appointment. I hope he's not tired. And then I wait a couple of hours and then I can go. So I will be leaving around about 11 p.m. at night. So I'm fine with that, absolutely fine with that. There'll be no traffic. You do have to get somebody to drive you home. You can't, I don't know what they'd do if they'd say, no, you can't go anywhere. But, legally, they have to release you with someone, I believe. So I've managed to rope a family friend, into doing that for me. And you're supposed to stay with somebody during the night in case of any adverse effects. So I'm going to be dropped off at my mum's and I'm going to sleep on her floor because, I don't want to die in the night or anything. And I think I'll be all right. I'm bound to be in a bit of pain. I'll take some painkillers. I'll take my amitriptyline to try and get me a good night's sleep. And, I'll just wake up in the next day and off I'll trot. I hope I can drive as soon as possible, but I may not be able to. So in that situation, it's dark glasses and walk home. So, that's okay. That's fine. It'll give me some fresh air. But your vision is impaired somewhat. It's blurry. So you wouldn't want to be getting in a car or anything like that. So the recovery time for the bruising and swelling is about 2 weeks. So I may not be able to go to orchestra, but I'll see. I certainly don't want to look like, you don't want to go public, do you, when people might think you've been beaten up. Although I would say to the whole of the orchestra, I've just had an eyelift. I didn't get beaten up. I don't mind saying that. I can send them a WhatsApp message before I go. But I probably have to miss one university orchestra practice, so that's okay. I can manage that. There we go. Really exciting. So Elderescence TV is not going to start properly until March, when my surgery is all done and dusted and all the swelling's gone. But I'll be doing all the podcasts before then, and I'll be doing some other stuff. And I have got some older videos which I'm going to put on the Patreon now, my Patreon channel, which is called Elderescence Academy. Just try and look me up. We're maybe not coming up in searches just yet, but we will do soon. So I've got lots of keep fit stuff that I've done before for Elderescence, before I lost all the weight. So I don't look like that anymore. I'm not saying I was fat exactly, but I huge boobs. So if you want to go and see how I was before and how I am now, you can probably see that. And we'll talk about dieting and health. My health was pretty dismal. I was a big drinker. I didn't eat properly ever, for about 20 years, and post-cancer as well. So, really poor health outlooks, actually. And I've worked quite hard to, rein that in. I don't drink at all anymore. I had a glass of red wine, actually, on Christmas, and we had a glass of champagne, but it felt weird. It felt quite weird. It didn't do anything, so... anyway, we'll talk about that another time. Au revoir.